Hey everybody, how's your week so far? Hopefully everything's going well with you. It is with me. Thank you so much for your support. If you care to contribute a little bit to support us with the studio rental and gifts to local arts organizations here in Arizona, the link is in the description of this video. And we always appreciate your financial support, but more than that, just your support in participating. It means a lot to me to have you all out there and learning and enjoying this art form that we all love. Anything else going on today? Not really, nothing much. All my social media stuff is in the description as well. Check it out. If you're not a subscriber already, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Click that little bell if you want to find out when I've put up a new video. Speaking of that, I put up the Escobilla por tientos that we've been working on in this class. I broke it down and I put it to compás with guitar in a video just the other day. So if you had any questions about the footwork itself, you can reference that video. Today I'll be doing some arms for that, a little bit more involved in detail than what we did initially. Initially, I just gave you some arms that were kind of just to keep you well placed. Now let's explore different things that you can do with the arms. We'll do that toward the end of class, okay? And I made like a couple of little changes because I felt like the body positionings and stuff were a little bit awkward in places. So just using my prerogative to go ahead and change a couple of things, but it won't be big changes. So let's go ahead and start stretching, and then we'll get into some tangos marking today, okay? So let's ground ourselves, feet together. Nice long, easy spine, soft joints, soft knees, soft hip joints. And just lengthen the body all the way to the top of the head. Make sure you're stacking everything correctly, head on top of shoulders, shoulders over the hips, hips over the insides of your feet, so that you don't have any break in the chain, as it were. Let's go ahead. We're going to stretch our quadricep here. If you can't do this without holding on to something, by all means, find something to hold on to. Sometimes you can put your hand out in front of you. Some people like to do it up here. It's up to you. And switch to the other side. Open up the front of the hip here, the hip flexors. Feet apart. Let's take one arm across the body and stretch the backs of those shoulders. Pull this to your chest. All the while breathing. Breathe through all of this stuff. It's never a good idea not to breathe. And to the extent that you're able to breathe deeply, it's to your advantage to do so. And then let's stretch out the triceps here. Pull on that elbow. And then let's go. Stretch the back of the shoulder here on the other arm. Pull that arm against your chest. And then stretch out the tricep and the lats here. And let's sit into our hips a little bit. We're going to clasp the fingers here. And I'm going to keep my biceps to my head here as I stretch open the ribs and C curve to my left, your right. But if you're doing the other direction, it doesn't matter. Then the other side. Lock out those elbows and curve the torso, meaning open up the ribs. Then back and forth. Elbows up. And open the chest. And up. Okay, we're going to do a little exercise today from the Insignias, the Joaquin Insignias method here. We're going to just do a ball change. All that means is you're going right, left, left, right. I'll do it in the mirror as well. You're just going here and twisting the spine and then there. We're not going to force too much positioning just yet, because right now we just want to get in the habit of standing on the insides of our feet, being able to quickly do a ball change. So every time I bring in the leg, I change my weight onto that leg, and then I send the other one out. Like so. And then I'm just twisting my spine, just warming it up. You can go a little more extreme if you want. I would warm this one up a little bit at a time. Now let's position a little bit by keeping your elbows up. So you don't have to hit any positions per se. Just keep your elbows up, chest open, shoulder blades down. Okay, from there we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to go through 7 positions, switching. So ball change here, pa. Okay. Nice open chest, nice long spine, good positioning. Go ahead and take your focus over your shoulder. Okay, good. Let's do our head splitting exercise. We're going to look at ourselves in the eyes in the mirror, and you're going to walk around. So if you're my mirror, I'm going to start on this corner, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and then at the last minute, whip the head around, looking back at my eyes again, okay? I'll do it without glasses so I don't have an accident here. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, head, 4. 1, 2, 3, head, 4. If you don't have a mirror, it doesn't matter. You can pick a line on the wall or some object in the room and just focus on that thing. Try to make sure it's a little bit higher up, because you don't want to get your focus looking down. So let's do looking in the mirror. Starting on this corner, I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, head, 4. 1, 2, 3, whip the head around. So the point is to try to get your head to whip around quickly so you don't get dizzy when you do turns, like so. All right, if you're dizzy, give yourself a second. We're going to go in the other direction. So now I'm starting on this corner. My hips to my left corner, right? And you do the same thing. You start on the front foot. You go 1, 2, 3, head, 4. 1, 2, 3, head, 4. 1, 2, 3, head, 4. Walk, 3, head, 4. 1, 2, 3, head, 4. 1, 2, 3, head, 4. Okay, you might be a little dizzy, but go slower if you need to. Take the walk a little bit slower, but always get those eyes right back on your own eyes, right back on the object that you're focusing on. That'll teach you to do your head spot correctly. Okay, so let's think about this. We're going to do some across the floor stuff today, since I have this wide angle. Been utilizing this wide angle. Been meaning to do some stuff across the floor. So we've done this before. We're going to do grapevine step across the floor, and then we're going to do foot variations that go a little bit faster. So grapevine step is when you start on a corner and you step out on your outside foot, and then you cross in front, and then you step out on the outside foot again and cross behind, and you go across the floor. Okay. So I'm going to do it facing you once, and then I'll do it facing the mirror. I'm going to start way over here, facing you. So I'm going to take center position here, keep my hips on the corner, and I'm going to walk. One, cross front, walk, cross back, walk, cross front, walk, cross back. Notice my hips are not twisting, right? And I'm going to go the other direction. Walk, cross front, walk, cross back, walk, cross front, walk, cross back, walk, cross front. Okay, so that's the idea. Now when I say my hips are not twisting, meaning I'm not doing this. That is also a grapevine step, but in the context of this flamenco exercise, grapevine step is going to, one of the preconditions is that we keep our positioning, so our hips stay on one corner, and they're not going back and forth this way, okay? Now I'm going to do it in the mirror. We'll do it a couple times without rhythm, then I'll put some rhythm on and we'll do it. Then we're going to do a faster version that marks a different pattern, okay? So we're going to be here. I'm going to go 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6. Other direction. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6. Other direction. 1, 2, 3, 4. 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Okay, let's try it with some rhythm, and then I'll give you the variation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Other direction, here we go. 1, 2, 4, 6, 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Other direction. 1, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1. Alrighty. Now the variation that we're going to do sounds like this. Ba, 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 ba. So your feet are going da, 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 da. Right? Demonstration very slowly. So I'm here. I'm going step, 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 step. Okay? So it's going to go ba, 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 bam, ba. For our bosses here. Ba, 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 bam, ba, 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 bam, ba. Okay? I'll do it facing the other direction, then we'll put some rhythm on it. Slowly. Ba, 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 ba. Ba, 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 ba. E. Ba, 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 ba. Ba, 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 ba. All right? One important thing, especially now that we're doing more feet, is to get the insides of your thighs to touch. Da, 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 da. In doing that, you're going to engage the muscles that are required to make that happen, but those same muscles also happen to be the muscles that give you stability. They help to inwardly rotate, or rather outwardly rotate the femur and the hip bones, and it creates this triangular position of stability. Okay, so it's the reason why ballet dancers dance. They train their turnout of their feet. They don't spend a lot of time here. They spend most of their time in turnout. And this is an exercise that will help you build some of those muscles while you're getting your flamenco positioning strong, and also where you're moving in space. So there's an athletic component to it as well, which is nice. So let's go ahead and try that to some rhythm. I'm going to take the tempo down. So it's going to ba 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 bam ba 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 bam ba. 5, 6. Here we go. 6, here we go. 5, 6, 7, 8. Six, seven, eight. All right. So if you don't have very much space, do what you can. You can do this in place if you have only a little bit of space. Da 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 da. You just can't cross over as much. But the same principles or the same muscle groups are still in play when you're keeping it small. I'm still squeezing my thighs together here at the tops of the thighs as I cross, okay? So that's one thing we can do across the floor. Now let's go forward. And I don't know if we'll get to backward today, but we might. So forward is the same principle. We're holding 7th position, but now I'm going in a direction I'm facing the direction I'm moving. So if I'm going toward the camera, I'm going 1, 2, 3, touch. Then I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, touch. Okay? So I'm demonstrating this way. I'm going 1 cross behind, and then touch, and switch sides, 1, 2, 3, touch. Okay? Try to stay up on your toes the whole time during these exercises. If you fumble a little bit at first, it's okay. So let's try it going both directions. I'll just go one direction, turn around, and come back. I'm going to start cornered left. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, touch. 1, 2, 3, touch. 1, 2, 3, touch. 1, 2, 3, touch. Other direction, and I'll start right. 1, 2, 3, touch. 1, 2, 3, touch. 1, 2, 3, touch. 1, 2, 3, touch. Okay? We'll do with some rhythm, and then we'll do the same sound we were doing in the variation, which is da 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 da. Okay? Regular than variation. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, switch. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, switch. 1, 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 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's do the variation now, which is this. Da 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 da, touch, da 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 da, da 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 da, da 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 da. Very good stuff to add to your repertoire. Now let's just continue building on Tango's marking patterns. You could potentially use that as a marking pattern. It would be, you'd have to find a real sensible place to put it because it's more of an exercise, but you could use it as a marking step, like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. For example, just a way you can modify it to make it a marking step. Let's go ahead and have some fun now and get moving with some marking steps and throwing some arms. start off small and go big. So we start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm keeping my weight back in my back hip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I'm going to leave this arm out. Same arm and leg. 5, 5. Make sure you're cornering over your front arm, front shoulder. 5, 5. Take the arms up now when I come down. 5, and up. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Leave it here now. Opposition. Down, up the middle. Down, the middle. Down, the middle. Down, the middle. Down, the middle. Now let's get some hips going. E. Down and up. Let's throw the hands in there. E, 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 E. Or if you want to just keep it nice and big, but keep the hips going. Turn the feet out a little bit here. Good. Keep the hips going. E. Go side to side now. We're going to go walk, 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 touch, walk. Keep those hips moving. Let's take position here. Walk. So you're going to look in the direction that you're moving. I'm going to keep it here and go backwards. Now I'm going to go here. Ah, touch, touch. It's a golpe. Two plantas. Right, left, right, right, left. Ah, boom, ah. Keep it simple here. Ah, boom, ah, ba, 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 ba. Now let's exaggerate. We're going to exaggerate the turn. We're going to go ba, da, da, ba. So I'm going to angle my body and step back a little bit. Ba, ba. Keep those hips. And a ride. Ba, ba. Ba, ba. Now let's take the arm above the head here. Ba, ba. We're going to go out and in. Out, in, out, in, out. Let that hip go out as you step out. Ah, 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 ah. Take the arms up. We're going to go here. Let's go down the middle. Left side. E. 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 Now we're going to go here. We're going to go out and back. Just keep our hips on one angle. Let's keep this here. E. Grab. E. E. first time, we're going to go here and back, E, and back, E, and back, E, 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 E. Let's switch sides over here now, left and back, E, back, E, and back, E, back, here, E. Over the top, here we go, E, and back, 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 E, 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 and hold. Here, check it out. Little stuff from when I was a kid in the 80s. Okay, let's, I have a few other steps. We're going to do 3 steps forward and a step behind. So you're going to go 1, 2, 3. Actually, it's 2 forward, 1 behind. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, and switch. 1, 2, 3, and switch. 1, 2, 3, and switch. Let's take their head back. E, E, now we're going to put a little arm through. E, papa, E, E, papa, E, E, papa, E, papa, E, papa, now I'm just going to get it here. Strong with the hips here. E, 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 E. Now we're going to go here. E, 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 let's go here. E, 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 let's keep it up here. E, 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 Fun stuff. Check it out. Oh, you're on top. Pretty good. Let's do a couple more. Let's go across the floor. Not super across the floor, but here. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, touch, touch. E, behind. Cross front, cross behind. E, 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 Hey, couple more times. Hey, 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 hey. Okay, couple more steps of forward. Now we're gonna go toe heel jabs. Okay, go up at the end. Arms up. Go down the middle. Small. Okay. Very good. Good drink of water. To Flamenco. To you. Okay. Let's go ahead and go over our tientos escobilla, and we'll get a little bit more sophisticated with the arms. My arms are usually not that sophisticated, but more so than before anyway. So as you recall, our first step is here. Okay? So you can get real busy with phrasing and changing the arms and the body. It's up to you. I like, especially when I'm starting, I like to keep it in one position for a little while. That way I have somewhere to go. But if I start doing this right away, then it's going to be hard to build visually, because you're not just building sonically, but you're building visually. So it's nice to set your tone. Everybody's got their own vibe and their style they like. But I'm going to set something fairly simple. So we're going to start here. Left arm forward. We're going to start here. Okay, so I'm going to do one switch on the transition. The last one is. So every time I do that double, I'm going to switch the body. Moving on. So we start. We go a little slower. Okay? Nice, easy thing. The transitions you give a little visual as opposed to just staying here. Now, if the arms are throwing you and your feet get all messed up because of the arms, keep it here. Keep to your solid position there. That's a really good rule of thumb whenever your feet start to get away from you. You want to draw it in, but you don't want to draw it in. You want to draw it in. In other words, keep your arms connected to the body at all times, okay? After that, we have this step. All right, that remains the same, right? So I'm going to keep my left arm forward. All that stays the same, okay? Because that's pretty nice and involved, and it gives a build in the visual, because we were here before. Now we're taking it up a little bit, okay? But then you'll see we're going to bring it back down again. and set a nice soniquete, a nice groove. So this is all what building the music in your footwork and in your body entails. These kinds of ebbs and flows, these rises and falls, okay? So let's do everything from the beginning up to that point, and then we'll move on. 5, 6, 7, 8. We're here. 5. Okay? One thing I like, let's say you're my audience and I'm doing that step. Let me see. So I would be here. I like to really make sure I get this nice side view as opposed to just being right here. So I'm gonna cheat over this direction here and then over here as opposed to just keeping it a shallow corner. Some footwork patterns and positionings are more effective when they're a little bit less extreme. This is an extreme cornering, and then I have to get over to this side. So this is what I mean. I'm here, and then I got to get all the way over here. Long arm out in front of me. I better take out my glasses. So let me do that to you, then we'll do it to the mirror. So I'm going. Mess that up. So every time I do chiflon, that's my chance to switch my cornering. I better put on my glasses because it gets hard to see. So I'm going. Right? Here, here. Just using seventh position and then bringing it up. So if I'm going slowly, here, stop. All right, is the idea. Let's put it all together. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is the step that I changed a little bit. What's coming next? We did. Is what we used to do. But instead of that, I'm going to have you just open up the feet here. So we're going to go. Up on your toes and split the feet apart. Cornering to your right. Pa, 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 e. And you're going to do this little flick of the arms. Imagine you want to get the finger, the water off your fingertips because you have wet hands. Flick. So you're going to go pa, 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 e. Flick. So there's a little bit of rebound here too. E. Then from there, pa, pa, e. All right? Let's do it to the mirror. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7. Pa, 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 pa. Pardon me? Can we do that again? Pa, 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 e, boom, boom, e. Okay? Let's tie it all together. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8. if you recall. So one thing about the arms with that particular step after we did is this has to close to make the point. It's like a closing on a tango 7, even though we're in tientos. So we're going 5, 6, oh. Then from there, then hold it, and then you come down with that until you drop your heel. So I'll do it forward into the mirror. We did pa 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 e pa pa e. And then just leave the arms up. That right one hits in and slides out for a second, okay? Let's do it facing the mirror. 5, 6, 7. 5, 6, 7. Pa 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 e boom pa e. From there, arms come down. Right, left, right. Okay? Put that all together. 5, 6, 7. Pa 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 e boom pa e. Okay? Pa pa pa. Now, if you want to go right into 7th position, you can, because you're about to start footwork that travels around. So if I did here, I can bring this up right away, or you can go E, and then you can bring the arm up as slowly as you start to do the next pattern. So it's up to you. I like to go ba 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 and slowly bring it up, as opposed to here right away. It's all what you want. Next footwork, so I won't turn it now, just keep it to the mirror. So we did ba 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 e boom ba. I'm sorry. Ba e left right left. Okay? So the easy thing that I like to do is just, especially since I'm traveling, you will be traveling this step in a circle. It's just to keep that arm there and keep cornered as you turn with the step. Then when you do the last quadruplet variation, you're going to bring the arms up the side and down the middle. Okay? Let's look at that step. So we just did pa, 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 pa. Okay? So notice I want to be down here before we start those patterns, the subida pattern. If you recall, subida comes from subir, which means we're going to take the tempo up. Okay? So we're going. Now switch corners. And on the last one, then you're in the position for the final remate and the close. Okay? Let's put it all together from the beginning with like a tangos pattern, even though we're not doing tangos, okay? Five, six, let's put those arms to use now. E. remate after the subida. We go. Right? Keep this arm positioned high, this elbow pushing forward. Keep it strong, so don't let this happen, yeah? Easy to happen. So we go. I'm sorry. It's clapping. Okay? So we go. Let's look at the mirror. 5, 6, 7, 8. Turning position here. 3. All right? I'll take off my glasses so I don't go flying. Then all you do is execute the turn. I'm sorry, I think it's left, right. Left, right. Okay? So it should end here. Let's try that ending. 5. From the last part of the subida. Okay? I think we got enough time to put it all together from the beginning. So I'm going to do what I just did now. One more time. I'll do a front view this time for the people that like the front view. 5, 6, 7, 8. How'd we do? Yeah? Like I said, the video for breaking down the feet a little bit more slowly is now up on the page. So far for this class, we have a tientos opening llamada to call in the singer. Then they sing. I haven't said anything to the cante. I'm thinking I maybe won't, but we'll talk about how you dance to cante. Then we have that little Escobilla footwork we just did, which will sit between the first letra and the second letra of cante. And it's a way to keep things energized and rolling. We just cut, they will come in and sing again. Then after that, there's all kinds of things we can do. We could do a falseta. We do more footwork. I could do another long llamada, or we could find a way to transition into tangos. So there's all kinds of things we can do. I'll decide later what the next thing is going to be. But so far, just know you have an opening llamada and a footwork section to work with in your tientos. So you all have a fantastic week. God bless. Thank you so much for indulging me once again. And next week, I think the sound is going to be better because I have a mic now and a different setup. So we'll see. God bless.